luck smiled on me through the magnanimity of Chief Olorunso Killer, who was then the Director of Finance and Admin, National Youth Service Corps, headquarters, then in Surulere, Lagos, Babs Animashaun. My daddy talked to him when he came to Ekpe at the time that my son needed the job. He said they should send me to his office. I went there. He received me after waiting. I introduced myself. He asked me a few questions. I said they should take me to the registry. And I was employed that very
Same day.
And my joy knew no bound. I was so happy, so proud in this kind of corporate environment, a national headquarters for an important institution in Nigeria. And as God will have it, I was posted to one of the most strategic departments in that institution, and that is the computer section. Call it data and computer section. We are the one generating data on how many coppers we have in Gongola State, we have in Niger State, we have how many of them are males, how many of them are females, when are they finishing, when is the first batch, this batch going, when is the next batch coming. Then we also have, and then there are different states of origin. Then we also have foreign coppers. Those ones can join service anytime.
Anytime.
It's around the year. Anytime they come, the scheme is structured in such a way that...
them to different states of choice.
So, and that is from that department, data section, they now posted me to our information office. So that as foreign coppers are coming firsthand, instead of them directing, instead of the reception, but we don't call it reception, call it information then. Instead of them having to direct them to computer or data, they already have a table. And I was the one
attending to them. Straight away.
So it gave me so much exposure to know people. So much exposure. I remember one of our brothers in Ekpe, Okolomo, former commissioner in Lagos State, Alhaji Yanufoshi. I remember when he came from the United States of America, where I read town planning and architecture. I was one of those that received him then. And I found him a very wonderful brother, very, very cheerful, very friendly, and he took me like a brother. I mean, like a sibling. And so, anyway, I was there for like 2.5 years or thereabout. It was a very lucrative job. Very, very lucrative for anybody to be tempted and steal. But because of my fire, I mean, for my zeal for education, at the point I had to resign and proceeded to Lagos State University upon admission. But you know one thing about that Lagos State admission that is so historic? None of my sets, because I happen to be a member of the first set, a member of the Pioneer.
At Lagos State University?
Yes. As I speak now, I'm the president of the Pioneer class. Up to here, as I'm talking, I don't know what happens tomorrow, but as I'm sitting down here, I am the president of that class of senators, class of generals, class of captains, class of billionaires, and talking about over 300 people. So, but none of us applied to LASU. And you asked me why. LASU was non-existent when that very year we wrote JAMB. Unknown to us, one of the greatest governors Lagos State ever had, Alhaji Lateef Jakonde, had underneath, prepared the Lagos State University. He studied, he had formed committee, he had identified location. They have identified the academic programs we offer. They've done this. By the time the thing was ready, it didn't meet up with the JAMB year. So Alhaji Lateef now used one very unique skill that I find so confounding, and that is he now requested from JAMB that all Lagos State indigenes who did well, all Lagos State indigenes and residents who did well in JAMB but could not be placed as a result of limitation of space, existing universities, they should forward their name to.
For automatic admission.
Well, of course, they will go
Okay,
through
they'll
and
do their checks and all that.
Checks.
Wow.
For example, if you don't have your prerequisites, you may not be. So that's how. So they did their checks, they did their selection without our knowledge. We just saw a letter. Lagos State University. Which one is Lagos State University? Or they now say Ojo. Anyway, to cut the long story short, it's an offer. You can't.
Yes.
And don't forget, I've done JAMB like 4 times.
Wow.
So if they now brought something from
at least
let me jump at it.
You should embrace it.
So that's how I jumped at it. By the time I even went there, they have started class for like a week before I came on board. Some were giving law, some were giving education, science. Me, I was in what they call law and humanities.
Okay.
Then part history and religion. That's where I found myself. And at a point, wanted to prove back, because the school itself, to make the matter worse, people are calling us glorified secondary school. Because the school used to be government college or job.
Oh, okay.
That was converted to last without any additional structure.
Oh, okay.
So they call us glorified secondary school. So I think that fired the appetite of the university management, that they will groom us in a way that will be a pride in the public. And that is what happened. I won't deceive you. If you're a member of the first set of last week, even second, fourth, and probably up to now, but particularly then, you must be brilliant. You are brilliant. No exception. So much so that an average schoolmate of mine, even those who did sciences, they are also powerful writers. They are powerful English speakers. Because you are trained on all. Then that's our GNS program. Use of English, use of library, how to do research. There's one they call research methodology. That one that is the secret behind my own, this thing in exploit in the intelligentsia world. So all these things, we were so groomed. Today, we have, I'm not too sure if that my brother have been, they change position. But I know that if it's not up to now, he's been the Dean, Faculty of Law, University of Lagos, the product of LASU, rising to become a professor of law, rising to become a Dean, Faculty of Law, University of Lagos. I'm talking of Professor Bolo Dioku. Then we have to remember Wongbenga Bamudu. He's a professor in one of these British institutions. It's one of the most brilliant law professors you have anywhere in the world. Remember. And another one I remember. These three I just mentioned, when they went to law school, representing LASU for the first time, they came first, second, third. Beating all other law students from other universities across the country. That is the history. And that's why, up to today, LASU has the best law program in Nigeria. And we stand to be corrected anyway. But it is what it is.
It is, yeah.
So I went to LASU. But because I was working before I came on school.
Yes.
So I had what we can call property in quotes.
You were established.
Today is nothing. But then I had fridge, I had bed, foam, curtain, rug, chair, cushion chairs. I have everything. I just moved to
campus.
It's the last one was off campus.
Okay, that's true.
So it's non-residential.
But at least you got a place close to the campus.
Yes. So it was non-residential, and so we just I managed to rent. We rented a house, a room, but I wasn't pleased with our house. When there was rain, there used to be flood. That's Okoko, a place called Okoko. So then, unfortunately, across the road, right, a brand new house was just completed. Okay. So we We bidded for it. There were a lot of people on it. But I was lucky I got a room. In fact, I had to get that room because somebody has already gotten it as room and parlor.
Oh.
So the person considered one room to me.
Okay.
One woman like that. So I now moved there with all those things of mine, blah, 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 blah. So I was living like a big boy student. And before you know, I had name. I have recognition easily. Anywhere I find myself, people will know me. I don't even need to struggle for it. I don't need to. So in Lasso, Gabo, I have my own group of friends. And then we were very serious. We said, how can we improve ourselves academically? We started one group called Thinkers Group. Okay. And some of our friends, one Orisha. He was the first student union president of Lasso, Alex Kaba. He's a journalist, New York-based, as we speak. A whole lot of them. Okupa was a lawyer. He was a law student then, but he's late now. And the rest of them, we brought ourselves together at once in every week, in the evening in school. We sit together and begin to think and see how we can come up with ideas and, or how to make Lasso proud and all that. So, we're lobbying. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, one. So, but me, somewhere along the line, I love to be heard. So, I remember one day we were discussing in the corridor of our faculty, law, we call it L&H, Law and Humanity back then. Okay. I don't know what they call it now. So they were discussing about 4, 5, 6 of them. And they were talking about Babangida. I think that policy of all this thing that is causing economic problem now started back then. So we were discussing the policy and I wanted to contribute, but I ran into a hiccup because my communication wasn't so smooth then. Okay. I'm telling you what led me to a writer. So I tried to force myself to speak. Then one of them now really annoyed me, said, Garbadeen, calm down, we can hear Yoruba.
Oops!
You know what it means?
Yeah, that
I should say it in Yoruba. Money, what do you mean? And I want to show myself. I went into total hiccup this time around. They said, Mama, you don't
stress yourself now.
So Yoruba, and as a young person, I saw it as a shame.
Of course.
Which it was not. So I just walked away. And I got to him and said, okay, I want to talk. Only if I cannot talk, let me write. And I wrote. And I went to the school the following day. Pasted it on the notice board. One light and light. It wasn't perfect too, but the thought process was super. The argument, the presentation was super. I just saw, I couldn't believe students, warming around the article, using their biro. Just like you write comment on Facebook now, on social media. Then they'll pick their biro and write on that paper. Some will even correct my English. Some will say, tabon. Some will correct you, some will mock you. Then some will just make contribution against your write-up. And I became swollen-headed. I was encouraged. So I now started, and because they were also correcting me.
Yes, you were improving on yourself.
Went to the library to improve myself. For 3 years, ask any last word. I wrote on notice board every Monday.
Every Monday.
And the crowd of readers increased every week. Even people that were not in our faculty, in the education, they will once they are coming to school on Monday morning, most of them will branch at L&H to read my article. Later we graduated to publishing campus magazine, which we call Sacred Python. And you wonder why Sacred Python, why Python, why Sacred? Then the mentality of a young person is that of intimidation, which we want something that will throw fear into people. Sacred Python. And Sacred Python indeed it was. Because if we write about you, then except it is positive. If it is the other one, sorry, I won't deceive you, I'm a bug. But the one I did that finally got me into trouble was when one of our mates approached me. It was me that he approached. And I called my second, Alex Kaba. Then we sat with him. And I said, he had a problem that we should assist him, or we should publish it so that people can give him an answer. What's the problem? He said 2 ladies were after him.
Oh.
They were after him, and they would not allow him to rest, that he has not been giving them face, but they kept on him. Unknown to us, those girls have been turning him down. Well, he wasn't even he didn't have that kind of stature then. The big boy is a multi-millionaire in London. He knows himself. I won't mention his name.
Okay. I hope he's watching.
He will watch as a subscriber.
Oh, that's good.
But there's a controversy. Me, the down coin.
He's going to put a call after now to be like, Gabo.
So, because he actually put us in trouble. So we wrote, as writer, we put emotions, we embellish, make it. So we now wrote that, our brother, so, X, Y, Z, is having this dilemma, 2 ladies. We now, unfortunately, we mention, we were not so schooled about the rules of, is this libel? About libel. So we just mentioned those ladies'
name.
Oh my God. Wọ́n gbádùn ọ̀ràn àgbàlagbà tí ó mọ bó ṣe kankan, bó ṣe já wá nìyẹn, because the information had gotten to them. The thing that really embarrassed them. Ẹ̀yà kan máa kankan, ẹ máa kankan, ṣáà tẹ̀ ní find out. That boy, go ask him, we didn't give him face. He's been coming to our hostel. We always chase him away. He now said we are trying. Oh my God. Okay, tell him to come and face us and say it. I won't deceive you. Already, what is Allah? What is our wakiri? So that was from that we also learned from that.
Yeah, sure.
You can't just write.
Once you hear from a source, you have to do.
And that's why it's
balancing.
I'm shocked today when I see all these bloggers saying things online about other people. Now wow, this they get hard to. So anyway, don't let us play like how we finish at LASU 1988 and went for youth corps.